Hare Krishna, welcome devotees to the Gita Daily session. So today we'll be discussing Bhagavad Gita 9.22. Let's take the blessings of the Lord. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maya Sudarshan Lakshmi Narsimhadeva Gauneta Panchadattva. Let's pray that by their blessings we shall understand the transcendental topics of Bhagavad Gita. So let's recite the prayers together. Om Adnanatimirandasya Nananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Let's dedicate the session to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Ajahn of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, by whose tireless efforts we have Bhagavad Gita, we are able to understand it in a practical and easy way. So let's thank Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So today we'll be reciting 9.22. So let's recite the shloka. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana parivasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Repetition. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. Translation by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Word meaning. Ananya, having no other object. Chintayanta, concentrating. Ma, on me. Ye, those who. Jana, persons. Paryupasate, properly worship. Tesham, of them. Nitya, always. Abhyukthanam, fixed in devotion. Yoga, requirement. Kshemam, protection. Vahami, carry. Aham, I. So this is a very important shloka. Where actually, the Lord is giving an assurance to all the devotees that for, for one who actually is fully devoted to the Lord personally carries what they lack and He preserves what they have. So this is very, very significant shloka. Let's try to understand it in more detail. So we are actually discussing the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the most confidential knowledge. So we have been discussing in this chapter actually about the Lord actually is giving the information about the confidential information about the devotional service to the Lord, right? And the Lord actually also is giving information about His transcendental position. So we have seen that the two kind of people, right? One who are actually mudas, who who never understands the Lord and who deride the Lord, right? So they are under the influence of the material energy, and actually the pure devotees of the Lord who are under the protection of the spiritual energy of the Lord. So yesterday we saw who is Mahatma. We saw Mahatmanas Tumam Partha Devim Prakriti Mashritam Bhajanti Ananyamanaso. So whoever actually is constantly meditating upon the Lord, right, always engaging devotional service, though they are actually called Mahatmas, and they are always under the protection of the Lord's spiritual potency or Yogamaya. So in today's sloka, the Lord actually is further giving information about how the Lord protects them. So we have seen yesterday that how the Lord protects, or they are under the protection of spiritual energy, right? So today the Lord actually is giving a personal assurance. He's saying Ananyas Chintayanto Mam. So those who actually doesn't have any other chinta or any other thoughts except the thought about Lord. So that means they're always thinking about the Lord. They're always conscious of the Lord. So that means they're always Krishna conscious, right? So such devotees, ye jana paryupasate, tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamiham. So for such devotees, the Lord actually is giving assurance that He will take care of their yoga and kshema, which actually means yoga actually means no whatever the devotee is lacking, right? The Lord actually provides it, and kshema means the Lord actually ensures the devotee's ultimate protection, or which means that is no He will ensure that the Lord is ensuring that the devotee will always remain in the path of spirituality. So he will ensure that somehow, someday or other, sooner or later, the devotee will come back to Krishna, right? So this is the assurance of the Lord. So when we have faith in the Lord, right, and when we understand this assurance, then actually we can get relieved from anxieties. So we have so many anxieties about us, right? So the primary reason for the anxiety is because we identify with the body, right? We think that we are this body, and everything, no, in this life is everything, right? So this is the general conception of people, no, who doesn't have spiritual knowledge, and because of which we are worried about so many things. What will happen, if I am not able to do this, or no, if what will happen if I lose my job, or if I what will happen if I lose my income. So this may we have so many anxieties in our day-to-day life, right? And we don't generally think about, we are not much anxious about our spiritual path because we don't have much knowledge about spiritual path. But once we start understanding the spiritual topics, then we may have also spiritual anxiety, right? Whether I will be able to make progress in the spiritual path, right? Whether I'll be able to go back to the Lord. So this kind of, so different anxieties, the jiva is continuously in anxiety in the material world. So so that is why the material world is called a dukkalayam, ashashudam, right? And the spiritual worlds are called vaikunta. So vaikunta means, kunda is anxiety and vai means no. So spiritual planets or vaikunta planets are those planets where there is no anxiety. So this is the exact opposite. And the material world is full of anxieties. It mentioned padam padam yat vibadam natesham. So in every step in the material world there is danger, right? So this is how acharyas understand. So how can we relieve from our anxieties? So that actually the Krishna is giving the assurance, to Arjuna here. So, but then this is for pure devotees. But then Krishna also says, "Ye ramam prabhadyante tam sadeva bhajamiham." So to the extent we take shelter of the Lord, or to the extent we reciprocate, or to the extent we connect with the Lord, to that extent He reciprocates. Right? So if somebody makes 10 steps, then Lord will make 100 steps. Right? So somebody makes 1,000 steps, then Lord will make 10,000 steps. But then it is proportion, right? So the effort we make towards the Lord actually proportionately, in the sense it is much more in proportion, but then accordingly the Lord reciprocates, right? So somebody is fully surrendered to the Lord, who is a pure devotee of the Lord. For such a devotee, the Lord completely takes care of his yoga and kshema. But then if you surrendered to some less action, let's say we surrendered 10%, then the Lord accordingly, he reciprocates to that action, right? So the Lord actually reciprocates with the devotees. So that is the quality of the Lord. So how actually, how can we become like pure devotee? We discussed yesterday a little bit, right? So we can become a Mahatma or a pure devotee by associating with pure devotees, right? So that is a process, how we can make progress. So basically we start with the basic steps, right? First with the chanting of the holy names, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So like that, we go. So starting with hearing and chanting, Shravanam and Kirtanam. So the Kshema, so actually the word Kshema means, no, Kshema we have seen some time back. So basically there are two kind of Kshema, right? One is called Shreyas and other one is called Preyas. So prayers actually is a short-term benefit, short-term or mostly material benefit. The short-term benefit mean, like acquiring some wealth or becoming prosperous or becoming happy for the short term, right? Material. So it's more material. And Shreyas is the long-term happiness or long-term success, which is the spiritual success, which actually means getting free from the cycle of birth and death. So whenever the Lord says yoga kshemam, actually it includes both actually. The Lord will take care of the material aspects of the devotee, right? He will maintain the devotee materially as well as, but more importantly, he sees the shreyas of the devotee. So long term, no, that devotee actually how he can take the devotee back to him, right? So that is the long term kshema of the devotee. And Acharya says, Srila Prabhupada says, and Lord also says that once actually somebody takes to the path of devotional service, right? Then actually the Lord will ensure that somehow or other the devotee will come back to him. No, how much time the devotee will take, it's only a matter of how much time. No, it depends on how much sincere we are, right? If we are very sincere and serious, then it's mentioned that we can go back to the Lord in one lifetime. But otherwise, if you're not very serious, then it may take more lifetime. But then once started actually, then the Lord somehow ensures that, no, the devotee continues in the spiritual path. So there may be temporary fall down. If you're not serious or if you're careless, then we may fall down from the path temporarily. But then again, actually, we will get an opportunity that we have seen it, right? Even if you make a little progress, right? Swalpam abhyasya dharmasya trayade mahadobhayat. Even if you make a small progress in devotional path, that is eternal, right? It is never lost. So this way the Lord is actually very merciful. So we need to understand the Lord, know how merciful He is. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, Prabhupada emphasizes that Krishna doesn't delegate this care to others. He himself ensures the devotee needs are met. Right? For pure devotees, the Lord is so basically sometimes we have seen earlier, right? The Lord actually is mentioned that he is always in the spiritual world, Supreme Lord, right? And he doesn't come to the material world generally. But then Lord makes exceptions, for his devotees. So, for example, in Kurukshetra war, the Lord actually takes a vow that that he never takes weapons. But actually, to protect Arjuna, he was even ready to break his own promise. So he actually attacks Lord Bhishma with the wheel of the chariot. So generally, there are some rules and there are always exceptions. The Lord actually is completely independent. He is not bound by anybody. So Lords can make exception if required. So for pure devotees, the Lord will make exception. No, He will take care of them, and if required, He will come personally also. Right. So that is the Lord's assurance. So understanding this topic, no, if we have faith in the Lord, and if we accept this promise of the Lord, then actually we can become free from anxiety. Right. We don't have to worry about our maintenance. So we people generally worry mainly, about like the basic needs, right? Food, shelter, etc. So and sometimes because of the greed, they want more and more. So but when one who is taking shelter of the Lord, right, he can be rest assured that Lord will provide whatever is necessary for him. So that is the key message. And sometimes, no, the Lord's protection will not be necessarily the way we want. Right? That is the thing. So sometimes the child, for example, the child is not ignorant, no, and child doesn't know what actually is good for him, right? So the child may ask to eat. Let's say he wants chocolate, and he becomes addicted to chocolate. No, he keeps on eating chocolate. So that actually is not good for his health, right? So the father actually understanding this, he will give what is he may restrict some things, and he may give what is good for the child. So similarly, that because we don't know much about ourselves, right? We only see a small part of our life. So this one lifetime is very small fragment of our entire existence. We have taken so many births in the past, and we are going to, based on the karma, we will have many lifetimes ahead of us. So we don't know the big picture, right? So we are just looking at a small part of our existence, and we think that okay, no, if I get this job, I will be happy, or if I get this spouse, I will be happy, right? Or if I don't, you know, have this situation, then I will be happy. So this way we have many conceptions, right? That is mostly because of our past vasanas. But then this may not always be necessary, right? So sometimes when we take shelter of the Lord, the things may not happen the way which we are expecting, right? There may be some difficulties may come temporarily. So because but we have to continue having faith in the Lord, and rest assured. Yesterday we saw that the aspects of Sharanagati, right? So Rakshishyati Vishwaso Goptrute Varanam Tava. So we need to have full faith that Lord will protect, and that the Lord is the well wisher. So being the well wisher, He knows what is really good for us. So we need to have patience, and sometimes apparent um, difficulties which may come, or situations which we are put, right, maybe for our purification. Because in end of the day, whatever we say said and done, if we want to go to the spiritual world, right, which actually is completely pure, the Lord is fully pure, and we actually spirits all are also pure. But because of the many lifetimes we spend here and the karma that we accumulated, we become contaminated. So unless and until we become purified, we actually cannot go back to the spiritual world, right? So to become purified, the Lord sometimes put us through different tests. Just like the example is given, like how the gold, which is impure, right, which is contaminated, has to be put into the fire to become purified, right? So when the gold is put into the fire, then the impurities are separated. So similarly, sometimes we, because of our contamination, we may need to get purified, and for the purification, there may be difficult situations that we may have to go through in our life, right? So this is only applicable when we are surrendered to the Lord. But otherwise, we may go through difficult situation that is only because of the past karma. So the life of a devotee and a non-devotee is quite different. Externally, it may look the same. Even if a devotee also does all the normal things, he also works, maybe working in a company, he has family, he has children. So he does various activities with the non-devotee also do. But internally, the difference is that the non-devotee is not coming under the Lord's protection. No, they are just under the protection of external energy, which is Maya, and their life is going on as per the karmic reaction. So many sinful activities they have done in the past, they will suffer now, right? So, and sometimes they would have done pious activities and then they will enjoy that. So this is how the non-devotee's life goes. But then for a devotee, also externally, it may appear that sometimes he may be in difficulties, right? Doesn't mean that no, his life is very smooth always. He may also go through difficulties, but these difficulties the devotee goes through is for his purification. That is by the arrangement of Lord, right? So he is put into a situation so that he becomes more and more purified, and also he becomes more and more dependent on the Lord. Sometimes the Lord puts the devotee in helpless condition, like the situation of Draupadi, we know, right? So, and when the devotee is put in helpless condition, then he becomes more and more surrendered to the Lord, right? So this way he becomes purified and attached. So the point is that the Lord so the Yogakshema doesn't always mean that no, once you become a devotee, then your life is like perfect, right? Picture perfect, we call it, right? No, there is no problems at all, like no, very smoothly everything is going on. There are no difficulties at all. This is not actually what it means. It means that the Lord actually is in taking control of the life, and he knows what is best for you, right? And so we have so many anarthas, right? Kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. So all these anarthas actually has to be removed. So sometimes surgery is required, right, to cure the patient. So those surgery may be painful, but it is essential. So similarly, Lord may have to perform some surgeries to remove our anarthas. So we need to have patience and faith in the Lord, and then be ready to pass through that situation. So Krishna says also in later, he gives assurance that whatever difficulties, Arjuna, when you take shelter of me, you will pass through all the obstacles of your life, right? So that actually assurance Lord is giving. So we need to just have the faith. So we will look at a very nice story about one of the acharyas in Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya. His name is Arjunacharya. Mhm. So Arjunacharya was a poor Brahmana, right? And he was living in a small village in a small hut, and he was struggling to maintain his family, because they don't have money. So he find it very difficult to feed the family, right? Even getting food. So he used to beg from the villages around. This way he was living a very austere life. But on the other hand, he was actually very much devoted to the Lord, right? So he was actually he was always remembering the Lord and engaging in services. So he used to read Bhagavad Gita daily, and also he used to make notes on Bhagavad Gita. So when he came to this particular shloka we are discussing 9.22, and when he saw that yoga kshemam vahamaham, Krishna says, I will personally take care of the devotee. So then Arjuna Acharya was doubtful, no, how actually it is possible, no, whether the Lord will personally, why he will come personally to help the devotee, because he has so many energies, so many assistants are there available, right? So all the demigods, so much of, so why he need to come personally to protect the devotees like that, he was wondering. And also he was thinking, no, he was very poor, right, and he is struggling here. So he was not sure whether actually this is true. So he will actually strike that word, no, whatever actually vaham ham. So that actually will strike it. And then after that, actually, he will go for bath. So he'll tell the wife, "No, I'm going to the river to take bath. I will come back after some time." So meanwhile, what happens actually after some time? Two very bright, beautiful young boys will come, right, and then they will be carrying loads of food items, like grains, vegetables, fruits. They will be carrying a huge load, and they will tell to the wife, of the brahmana, that actually Arjunacharya have sent us. He met us in the market, and he asked us to bring all these provisions and vegetables. And then Arjunacharya's wife will think, no, how my husband, no, how is, no, he has become insensitive, because these small boys are there, and he's asking them to carry so much of load, right, with the small boys. And the one of the boys tell that, no, Arjunacharya actually forced us to take this, because we were not initially, because it was too heavy, we initially did not agree. But then he bet us, and he showed, behind there is beating marks. So then his wife becomes very upset actually. And after some time, the boys will go back, and Arjunacharya returns. And then wife will wife will ask Arjunacharya, how have you become so insensitive and cruel, no? That you are beating the small children and then forcing them to take this load of food. Then Arjunacharya was confused. He will tell that I have not asked anybody to bring anything. I don't know, like, what you are talking about. Then after some time, he meditates, and he understands that those two boys were not none other than Krishna and Balram, right? So he will tell your wife that you are most fortunate because you got opportunity to serve them personally. And he also thought himself, that actually it was how he was foolish to think that to distrust the words of Lord, right? And he understood that because he struck those words, the Lord actually has shown that beating marks on his body. That so this particular incident, is an example that when necessary, right, the Lord actually personally takes care of the devotees if it is required. So so this way, we need to have faith in the Lord, right? And then the words of the acharyas, and also we should be sincere and honest in our attempt, right? In that case, when we become eligible, then actually the Lord will come personally if required. So this way we should trust the words of Lord, no, and be free from the anxiety of how we will maintain ourselves. So what are the practical takeaways from today's session? So they basically, we need to understand that the Lord actually is completely independent, right? He is not bound by any rules. There are many rules and regulations in the material world. There's material laws are there, the laws of karma. But then Lord actually is the creator of everything. He is the source of everything. We have seen it. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Kridesh Arjuna Tishtati. And he, being situated in the heart, he understands the desire of the jivas. So being independent, he is not bound by any rules. So if he can break his own rules if required. So the Lord actually will come personally if it is necessary, to protect or take care of his devotees. So we have seen the story of Prahlad Maharaj, right? How Hiranyakashipu is killed by Narsimadev, and so many other stories. But in this particular story of Arjunacharya is a recent story. Right? So in day-to-day activities today also we can see the hand of Lord in our life if actually we become sincere. So Shankaracharya has written this commentary, not commentary. Actually, he has given the glories of Bhagavad Gita, called Gita Mahatmya. So in that, there's a shloka which says, "Gita su Gita kartavya kim anye shastra vistare yes swayam patmanabhasya mukha patmad vinikshada." So what it means is that this Gita is actually spoken by the Supreme Lord Himself, right? So there is no need of any other scriptures to learn any other scripture, because this Gita is spoken by the Lord Himself. And the Lord actually is personally giving assurances to the devotees who is reading it. So we should not have any doubt, in the words of Lord actually, right? Because He is directly giving this assurance. So this way we need to have full faith in the Lord. Right? That actually is something we can apply in our today, life. So we have to prioritize our life and activities, understanding that this is the most important thing in our life. So we should find time for spiritual activities, right? and uh, and we should actually, yesterday we discussed, no, we should start letting go of the control, right? Because the Lord actually, when we take shelter of the Lord, then Lord actually takes control of the life. So when we give control to the Lord, especially Supreme Lord, then there is no need to become anxious about what is going to come, right? We should be fully assured that what Lord actually will do, what is actually necessary for us, right? So this way, practically, let us start, surrendering to the will of the Lord, right? Start building trust in the Lord, having increase our faith in the Lord. So for all doing all these things, we should have association of the devotees. We should do basically ABCD: association, reading books, increasing our scriptural knowledge, then chanting the holy names, taking prasadam, food which is offered to the Lord. Like that, actually, we should start practically applying these things in our life, so that our faith actually in the Lord will increase. And the more the faith we build, the more actually our anxieties will go away, the more actually we'll become free, no and then we can spend more and more time on in the service of the Lord. So I think with that, I think we come to the end of today's time. So anybody wants to leave at this point, they can leave. Anybody has any questions, they can either unmute and ask, or they can put it in the chat. Hare Krishna, any questions, are the devotees? So before we end, let us chant together 3 times Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna devotees. Anybody has any questions, devotees? Okay, if no questions are there, then we will again meet tomorrow. So thanks all devotees for joining regularly. So please keep joining so that we can benefit from the sessions. So we'll end here. Thank you all for joining once again. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.